Hey guys, so we are about a week into the new year at the time of filming this video, and I have been reflecting a lot about 2024 in terms of how the year went overall, but as well as my budget. So exactly how much money I projected I was going to bring in, how much I ended up bringing in overall, and where I spent that money. If you follow me on Instagram, you might already have this information in that I figured out exactly where I spent the most money in 2024. So on my Instagram, I'll insert it in this video if I haven't already. And then I also talked about my 2024 financial income goal that I'd set for myself. I set it back in 2023, spoke about it high level, and then I never spoke about it throughout 2024. And when I was doing the numbers for my net worth, which is a video that you saw last week Sunday, I was literally like, oh my gosh, not only did I reach my goal, but I surpassed it like big time, and I was so happy about that. So it just made me think this morning when I was reflecting. I do have my 2024 legend planner here, where, as you guys know if you watch my videos, I write everything down. I have several planners that I use on the side with these dated planners, and I absolutely loved it for me. But reflecting on this morning, I was just like, wow, girl, you have accomplished a lot, like a lot. And for today's video, I am going to be doing the reflecting on the year and also looking at my annual budget, and that is what we'll be talking about in today's video. Hey guys, welcome back to Budget with a July Dreamer. My name is Miranda, and on this channel I share everything personal finance. I cover budgeting, saving, and investing. If these topics are of interest to you, then please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into today's video. So I am sitting comfortably in my living room on my lovely sofa. All my friends compliment me on how comfortable my sofa is. Absolutely love this. I've owned it for the last 5 years, and I think I got it from Furniture Village. Yeah, 5 years now, and we're going strong, and I have loved it for me. Now I do have my trusted laptop here with me because I will be sharing with you my Ultimate Wealth Dashboard Planner, going over the annual budget, and then the plan, like I mentioned, where I would just be high level looking at every single month in the year 2024. It's so weird for me right now to be talking about 2025, thinking about 2025, already living 2025, because it just felt so far away when I was setting my 5-year plan back in 2020, in December of 2020. And now to be in the 5th and final year of my financial plan is absolutely crazy to think about. But I'm thankful to God, I'm thankful to my family, to my friend, as well as to you guys for continuing with your support, watching my videos, and just the encouragement that I receive on almost every single video. So thank you so much for tagging along with me on my financial journey. In the UK today, when I'm filming this video, it is absolutely cold. It's -1. My car is frozen, and they're projecting I will have some snow. So yeah, I am currently under an electric blanket because, and I'm wearing shorts. I don't even know why. I'm a walking conundrum, you guys, but I literally love having my electric blanket on, and I think my heating might still be on, but who cares? Well, I care because I have to pay the bills. But anyway, today's video, let us first start with should I start with a look at the year, or should I start with the budget? Let's look at the year. Yeah, let's first look at the year. Okay, so if we start the year by looking at going into the monthly tabs, because what I love about the Legend Planner is it has an area for you to write your vision board, an area for you to write your goals, your wishes, all of that gorgeous. Then the monthly tabs, where it allows you to obviously plan out your month, and then at the end you have a moment to reflect. And then further along in the notebook, you have the weekly breakdown, which I have loved and used every single week, and it's actually helped me to then do my reflection, because I'm able to look at each and every single week, write our own reflection for that, and then overall aggregate all of that data and then write it down in my notebook. So in January, January 2024, I started my my Reformer Pilates for the first time ever. I wanted to be one of the Pilates girls, and I feel like I definitely subscribed to the aesthetic. I loved every single one of the classes. At first, I want to say the first 3 months were a little bit tough because I had no idea what I was doing. I wasn't sure if it was working, but I enjoyed it because I was doing it with a friend. And then the last 2 months of the year, my friend and I did 2 advanced classes, and we were like, whoa, okay, it looks like moving forward that's what we'll be doing. So when we go to our regular Pilates, Reformer Pilates studio, we'll be doing the advanced class, but when we try out new places, we'll probably do like beginners, just because we're not used to other places. But January was the first time, you guys, that I started Reformer Pilates, and I have not looked back. January, I also started at my local gym. I didn't sign up for the monthly membership until March, but January and February I did pay as you go, because January and February, my workout schedule, I had Monday and Fridays I worked out from home. That's how my wellness coach planned out my program. And then on Wednesdays I went to the gym. So this is something I planned with her in December of 2023, and then I applied in 2024. So January and February I did 2 days home workouts and then 1 day at the gym. So I was doing pay as you go with the gym, which was really great. And there were times when I wanted to go to the gym a little bit more, so I was able to do that. But January, not only did I join the gym, I also started Reformer Pilates and just had the best time ever. I also traveled in January to Essaouira in Morocco. My friend and I have been going to Essaouira since 2019, and we've absolutely loved it. This year we are going back to Morocco, just not to the same place, and I'm excited for this new place because we've been like, okay, we've been going to Essaouira for so long that there is nothing new for us to discover. So now we're like, okay, let's try out other cities in Morocco, because it's only 2.5 hours away for us on the plane in the UK. So like, yeah, let's do that. And also the weather is so much better than in the UK. So yeah, so that was January, you guys. It was kind of trying out new things, and it really worked better than I could have imagined, and I have no regrets. So much happened in that month of January. Then for the month of February, we still did Pilates. I went to the spa, and what else did I did? And I also traveled with my girlfriends, my best friends. We went to Singapore in February. We did a 2-week trip. So the end of February we went to Singapore, and then the first week of March we were in Malaysia. So we broke it up like that. Like February was for Singapore, and it was absolutely incredible. I don't think there's anything else that happened. Oh yeah, no, my niece and my nephew came over for their half-term break, so I had the kids over. Then I invited my parents over, so my house was busy, it was full. And I feel like, I remember saying this to my girlfriends, that I was like, oh my god, I feel like I've just lived a snapshot of my future. Like 2 kids, a dog, my parents. Oh my god, it was overwhelming. It was a lot, but I still loved it at the end of the day. But I was absolutely exhausted, like extremely exhausted. But otherwise it was a great month overall. March, like I said, started off with us being in Kuala Lumpur, and then we went to Langkawi in Malaysia, and we had amazing time. So much that we almost bought a property in Malaysia. It was that incredible. We were like, oh my god, the market here, like, yes, we almost did, but we didn't. I still came back and I did Pilates, which is incredible. I've not missed a single month when it comes to Pilates. I met up with my friends. It was honky-dory the first 3 months of the year. Absolutely loved it. Then when it comes to April, you guys, I know you can't really see, but it was so colorful. Like all the yellows are the times when I worked out, and I worked out practically every single day in April. Yes, I worked out. I changed up my program for the second quarter of the year. I started going to the gym twice a week, and then working out once a week. But I don't know what happened for me in April, but from the first day, which was a Monday, I went to the gym. Tuesday I went to the gym. Wednesday I worked out at home. Thursday I went to the gym. Like I was doing so much. And then I also did something that I think I remember why I did it. It's because I was planning to do a 5K run at the end of the month with my sister, but she backed out. I still did do the 5K, but I did it in May. I believe I'll look at that in a moment. But it was such an incredible month. I worked out every single day. I can't believe it. Like, I worked out every single day in May. That's absolutely crazy. What did I do in May? In May, yes, I traveled quite a bit. I did a solo trip to Abu Dhabi, still did Pilates. I went to Cologne, Germany, and Brussels with my friend, and then I went back to Germany for work. It was absolutely crazy. Oh my god, like, I had so much fun. But I also managed to do a lot of workouts in the month of May. I'm very proud of myself. But yeah, so that was May. June I did a girls trip. That was also another really busy month for me. Like, every single weekend I was busy. Again, we didn't forget about the Pilates. I still managed to do the Pilates. I met up with my friends. I did a lot, you guys, and I'm so proud of myself because I had a business trip. So I went on a business trip from Sunday and came back on a Wednesday. Then on Thursday I flew out with my girlfriends and we went to Cape Verde and just had the best time ever. Came back the following week and then ran a 5K. Oh yeah, so I didn't run the 5K in May. I ran it in June. So I did May and June training for the 5K, and I ran the 5K, and I've not run a 5K outside ever since. I've run a couple of 5Ks but in the gym, and I've been very proud of myself and still not missed any Pilates. So that was the first half of the year. The second half of the year, obviously, well, not obviously, but starts out with my birthday. Had an incredible July. I went out to London, booked an amazing spot in London, and oh my god, I celebrated with my best girls ever, and we had so much fun, and still did Pilates, you know, because we're not gonna miss that. So that was July. August was pretty chill. My weekends were busy, but otherwise it was pretty chill. Yeah, that was a good month. I did do, oh yes, I did do, what did we do? I did travel to Wales for my friend's birthday in August, and then I was in London. It was a busy month. September I was in London for my friend's birthday, my mom's 60th birthday, Milton Keynes. It was a lot, you guys. Like, it was a lot, but absolutely loved it. I'm loving looking back and reflecting on how the year went. October is my dad's birthday. I was also one of my really good friends' wedding, then my best friend's hen do, and then we did her Lobola day, which was absolutely incredible. And October was the start of the final quarter of the year and the best setup ever. November came and we went straight into traveling to Grenada for one of my really good friends' weddings, and then came back. That weekend I did Pilates, then traveled the following weekend to London to meet up with a friend, and then after London traveled to Nigeria for my best friend's wedding, which was super duper. Then we spent 2 weeks in Nigeria. We were in Port Harcourt, whereas we attended my best friend's wedding, and then the first week of December we traveled to Abuja, and so much happened. Like, oh my god, the last 30 days of 2024, you guys, a lot happened. More than I had anticipated, more than I had planned for, more than I had bargained for. It was incredible. It was a hot mess. Like, oh my god, I don't even know how to explain it to you guys. Like, the people in my life already know. Like, my best friends know. My mom doesn't know, and no, mom, I'm not telling you. But it was, oh my god, it was such an incredible month overall. And yeah, and I managed to read 24 books in 2024. I still kept up with my Pilates. I still kept up with meeting up with my friends, catching up, and just living life in general. I had such an incredible year, you guys. Like, this is why I love recording these things, not only like electronically but also writing things down, because this morning I spent 2 hours just sitting in bed and reflecting. I even took out all of the books that I have since. So I've been writing stuff down for the longest time. My mom found my 2007 book And then my 2017 book, I've just been writing since forever, and I was reflecting on all of that, looking like where I have come from, looking at when I worked my first job. I worked in the laundry for a care home, and then I moved on from working for the laundry. I moved to another care home, and I worked looking after elderly people, people with dementia. Then I moved to working with people who had mental illnesses and dementia as well, and all of that good jazz. And then I moved on to work care in the community. This is all between me being 17 until I went to uni. I didn't go to uni until I was about 21. So in that time I did care work. I continued doing care work throughout my university life, and then in my final year of uni I stopped care work and I started volunteering with the British Red Cross. And I did that until I wrote my final exam, got my results, and I started working for a pharmaceutical company. So yeah, it's just been like that ever since. So it's kind of like, it was interesting looking back to like, oh, I used to get paid like £6.23 an hour, to where I am right now is such growth. Incredible. I mean, it's been almost 20 years, so not almost, over 20 years now. So it's crazy, you guys. But yeah, that was interesting reflecting, and then for the stuff that I've written down, looking at it and being like, wow, girl, look how far you've come. Like, look how far you have come. But yeah, so I'm grateful that I write these things down. I'm able to reflect on it. And now let me just switch over to moving towards looking at the annual budget. If you watched my, I'm just going to fire up the screen record thingy majiggy, but if you watched my my video last Sunday, which was my 2024 net worth, you would have seen me talk about my, and I think I've just mentioned it, that my projected income that I was planning to bring in 2024 was about 100 grand, right? And then if I add in other, like my rental properties and other stuff, it would have come to, in total, the income from my job, my side hustles and all of that, should have come to at least 135 grand. That was my target. But like I said, if you've seen my Instagram, you know that I was able to bring in a lot more than that. So now I do I have everything on the screen? Yes. Okay, so I do have everything on the screen, and what I'm going to do, before, I need to do such, and then I can do a screen record now. Okay, so let us look first at my income. So I had projected that I was going to bring in over £56,000, and this is money after taxes, after deductions and contributions, and all of that has been made. I was expecting to bring in at least 56,000, and I actually ended up bringing in over 82,000. I must preface this and say this does not include my rental income. This is from my 9 to 5 plus my little side hustles that I have on the side. So I was able to bring in, after taxes, after deductions and contributions, over 82,500 in 2024, which is ridiculous to think about. But like I always say, March is an incredible month for me, in that I get my bonus, and for 2024 it was more than I'd ever thought or even comprehended before. So it was absolutely incredible for me to see this. But yes, so that, plus I got a pay rise at work, and I realized, obviously, I think I've mentioned this a couple of times on my channel, but I have been living off the income amount from back in 2020. I've definitely succumbed to lifestyle creep for sure, and I have succumbed to it because I was like, well, I used to have about £2,000 as disposable income, okay? And I was like, well, you know, I've got this money, I could do all of this. So I ended up taking out loans for my home renovation, because I'm like, yeah, obviously I can afford it. And then my lifestyle's also changed, so I was like, Yeah, so obviously that I've been trying to live with that income, so I do a lot of work sacrifices, income sacrifices, where I contribute the max that I can with my pension, the max that I can in buying shares within the company, plus any additional like sending to my pension. I've done the most that I can with extra pension contribution. The extra one is not matched, but the one that the employer match is matched, so I get 20%. And then I do an additional one on top of that. Then I buy shares which are pre-taxes, and then I buy shares again post-taxes. So I'm trying to just accumulate my wealth in investing for my future, and also in the stock market. So I do quite a lot of work sacrifice in that way. So I am glad that I was able to bring in that amount, like over 82,000 pounds. It's thanks be to God. Next is my bills. So this is my typical bills, like my mortgage, my council tax, my wellness, life insurance, insurances, and all of that good jazz. So I projected over 28,000 pounds, and I'm happy to see that just under that. So I was short by 464 and 31 pence, which is not bad. I'm happy with this. I feel like I already knew at the beginning of last year that my bills would be about 2,500, and then the next 2 months they were less than, the next 3 months I should say, were less than that, and then slowly but surely started increasing, especially as my mortgage went up from being 900 pounds to 1,500, which was a bummer, but such is life. And then I will skip over the expenses because I do want to first talk about two other areas of my life, starting off first with my investments. Now my investments took a hit. Year 4 of my 5-year plan was a whole ass mess, excuse the French. I really thought I was going to invest at least 8,000 pounds. Yo, I took out more money than I put in. Yeah, I took out a lot of money from my investments. I sold a lot, and it's obviously reflected in my my investments with Vanguard, with Plum. These are the two areas where I took out money. Vanguard, I think I tapped in 3 times, which is crazy, but I much rather tap into the ISA because, you know, the earnings that I've had with that account are tax-free, so I was able to tap into that. But I hope I don't have to at all this year, like touch wood. I hope I don't have to, because it was crazy for my investments last year. My pension, because I sacrificed a lot at work, I was able to contribute a lot more. This is why my investments still ended at 120k, even though I took out a big chunk of money from my investments. So yeah. Then looking at my sinking funds also took a big hit because I tapped into my savings and sinking funds throughout the year thanks to my rental property. And also it's partly my fault because I was negligent. There were some things with my rental property that I could have had covered with my insurance, but I completely forgot, like you guys, I completely forgot that I have insurance for my rental properties, and some of the things that I needed to fix, take care of, and all of that good jazz, my insurance should have covered. I completely forgot, like completely. I can't even believe that I forgot that I had insurance. But so I was projecting to send like 4,300. I took out a lot of money from my wow, we're running out of space. So I took out, we're back. So my memory card ran out of space, but we're back. So let's continue. So as I was saying, I took out more than I bargained for when it came to my savings and my investments, but to be honest, such is life, so I'm not really going to fret too much about that. I will cover the debt section a little bit later, but let me just go back to my expense summary, because my expenses is where I spent the most money, like ever. So I projected that I would spend at least 22,000, over 22,500. Yo, I spent 38,000 pounds. Like, I'm not mad at myself because I YOLO'd more than ever YOLO'd in my entire life. It was absolutely crazy, but it was such an incredible year I do not regret any of it. Like, absolutely do not regret any of it. But what is funny, and let us go to this section where my money went, is travel got the most of my money. If I'm calculating properly, the mortgage and advance mortgage, this, even though there are two separate bills, are actually one bill because it's all for this home. I definitely spent more in these two areas. Like, where is my mobile? Oh, I do have my mobile here. So I'm just gonna quickly do the math because I won't be able to do this mental math. But 14,900 plus 47,550. Okay, so just a little bit more. So I sent 19,650 towards my mortgage. So that is number one spot. Then the second one goes to travel, which was obviously 19,200 plus, which is ridiculous, but also not ridiculous at the same time because I did travel a little bit. I did travel to a lot of places, and I did a lot more girls trips in 2024 than I'd ever done in my entire life. So, you know, obviously there is that, but also I remember me and the girls laughing about this in Q1 last year. The four of us, me and my best friends, we spent 10 grand going to Singapore and Malaysia, and this does not, and I reiterate, does not include our flights. We'd already bought the flights like December of 2023, so our flights were already been purchased. So this is all from us literally spending our way through Singapore, spending our way through Malaysia. And yeah, Singapore ain't cheap, but Malaysia is. So such is life. But anyway, we spent that much. So about, you know, 10 grand between the four of us. Yeah, we were crazy. Anyway, miscellaneous shouldn't be this high, and the reason my miscellaneous is this high is purely because I did not combine my rental budget with my everyday budget. And because I didn't do that, whenever I had to pull money from my own savings to pay for rental stuff, I had no category specifically dedicated to my rental properties. So I would just throw it under miscellaneous, and this is why this is 12 grand. So about 7 grand of this is for my rental properties. The rest is mine. It's still quite high, but the rest was mine, and this was like weddings, gifts, not exactly gifts because I also have a separate tab for gifts and tithe, but there was just a lot of things that I just decided to categorize as miscellaneous. So gift and tithe was the next highest here, which I'm very happy to see, just under 9 grand. My loan, my Zopa loan, I was able to send this amount, which I'm also happy about because I do wish to pay this off as soon as possible. I don't want to wait until next year to pay this off. I want to pay it off as soon as possible. My business, my small businesses, I spent over 5 grand, which is crazy to me because my business did not make me this much in 2024. It actually ate more than it brought me, which is crazy to think about, but such is life. And then groceries, I am surprised, if I am honest, that I spent like 4,800 on groceries. Like, girl. But such is life, we move. And then subscriptions is another one, but I'm also not surprised because for me subscriptions included or still includes, no, I've changed things around. It included my car insurance, my home insurance, home emergency, all of my big insurances, and all of my annual bills were all under subscription. So I'm not surprised by this, because like if I look at one of my subscriptions, I think if I just look at car insurance was practically 600 pounds, and then home insurance was like 200. So we're almost getting like close to 1,000 already, and I had a lot of these annual bills, so I'm not surprised at all. Then not restaurant surprised me a little bit, but I'm a social butterfly and I literally lived my best life last year. So yeah, I'm not surprised by that. But if you look at this, I actually ended up spending overall, I ended up spending like 96 grand. So you might be wondering why there's a difference between what I brought in and what I spent. This is because obviously I was pulling from my savings, and I was also pulling from my investments. That's why there is that difference. But it is crazy for me to see, like, I spent so much on travel, like absolute crazy. But I love it because, to be honest, I feel like travel has become my whole personality when it comes to my friend groups and my family. Like, before people ask me how I am, they ask me which country. It's quite funny because my mom started this like years ago, and she'll be complaining, oh, you travel too much as a woman, blah blah blah. And obviously I've changed her mind since then, and she loves to travel with me whenever we can. But it's kind of like, then she will be like talking with her friends, and our friends will be like, oh, where's your daughter? And she's like, I don't know, hold on. She'll call me, hey. I'm like, hey mom. And she's like, which country? And I'm like, well, right now as we're speaking UK, or as we're speaking country A or country B or whatever. And so now it's kind of become a thing with my friends. They're always like, so which country? You know, like, it always makes me laugh, but it feels like my whole personality now. Then if I quickly just touch on debt, like I said, I did send quite a bit of money towards my debt, but this is not just to my personal loans. It was also paying off credit cards, repaying off credit cards, paying off credit cards, repaying credit cards. But I sent over 25 grand towards debt. So again, it's credit cards and personal loans. So, and we know that 8,000 something of that went to my Zopa loan, which I'm happy about, like absolutely happy about. So, but yeah, so that is my annual budget slash reflecting on 2024. So if I go to the top of my annual dashboard, my total income was over 82,000 pounds. That is what I brought in. Total bills got over 27,000 pounds. Total expenses crazy 38,000 pounds. Savings, I actually ended up taking out more than I put in. Same thing with my investments, and then my debt got about 25 grand. Then this is between my personal loans and my credit cards. And then if we look at my top bill was my mortgage, my top investment was my SIP, and then my top expense was travel, which is not surprising at all because that's exactly how I lived my life in 2020. And if we quickly look at my cash flow, so my bills got about 27 grand, which we've already seen, debt 25, and then expenses 38, which we've already seen this. And then quickly touch on my annual goals. I didn't accomplish the goal to save 10k. Like you saw, I took out more. I did accomplish my goal to bring my Zopa loan to under 20 grand. I ended at 18,400. I did save 7,500 for travel, but as you can see, I spent almost 20 grand on travel. Well, over to 19 grand over on travel. I did reach 100k in my investments. I actually ended 2024 at 120 grand. Saved, I did not reach 750 in my net worth. I reached 437k. I didn't reach 1.5 million in assets. I reached 1.2 million, or was it 1.3 million? I can't remember. And then I took out the goal to save and use 10k for my bathroom renovation. I renovated my personal ensuite bathroom onto the back burner for now, but those were my annual goals. And that is it, you guys. That is the video. I can't believe I spent so much money on travel, but I look at the travels that I've done and I'm not surprised at the same time. Like, for example, the month of November, I went to Grenada in the Caribbean. First week of November, we had fun. We were there for 4 days. We had the best time ever. 2 weeks later, we flew to Nigeria, to Port Harcourt, for my best friend's wedding. And they catered practically for almost everything, but we had the Abuja part of it, which we catered ourselves. That cost money. And me and my friends, we never skimp on food. That's our biggest downfall. We never skimp on food, and we love adventures as well, and doing activities. So I'm not surprised by that, but I was just like, okay. And what is interesting is, after our last trip in June to Cape Verde, between July and November, we did not travel abroad. We did travel within the UK. I think we did one trip to Wales and I drove. with my best friends for one of my best friends not wedding but birthdays, and we had a lovely time. That was like one of the best staycations we'd done in a while, so that was really good. And then we did meet up multiple times in that time before we ended up going to Grenada together and then to Port Harcourt slash Abuja. So it was incredible. We had so much fun, and 2024 is definitely going in the books as being one of my best years yet. Like I said, December threw a loop on me. Like, for the plot twist, it twisted more than I had bargained for, but no regrets here. It was still an incredible year and I do not regret anything. But yeah, you guys, so that is the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please give it thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video real soon.